Hey, bubbling, coming in, crushing this art. A1. So, happy birthday if you're birthday number one. Happy one if you're Aries type of person. Awesome one. So, let me show you this right here. So, right away we see one is the beginning, right? So thus we would notice that one is the beginning in the realms of cardinal fixed immutable and in the placements of cardinal fixed immutable, being it's 1 and 1, 2, 3, and 1 verse 4, 7. 4 and 7 also being cardinal and fixed immutable realms. And 2 and 3 also being in the cardinal realm but being fixed immutable placements. So, yeah, and then we see that it's also fire. Fire being the original yang, like the pure yang. Air being the next yang, which comes in the earth and air group, the realized and dramatic set, and the potential spiritual set. Fire and water, earth comes and then water comes, right? So it goes fire, water, right, creating a sect and a balance, and then air, earth, creating a sect and a balance. And we see yang coming first, as yang is this creative principle, right? It connects with sort of like hatred and discontentedness in a way, right? Because instead of going with the flow, we wanted to create anew. And so any way that a sort of lack of realization or lack of corporeality, right, like pure essentia and what was universe before all this realization and manifestation, right? There was this discontentedness that brought forth creation, right? That's the only way we could describe it. Otherwise, why didn't we stay in this boundless yin sea of chaos, right? Why weren't we contented with just going with the flow of a greater unindividuated chaos, what rose forth the conscious, right? What rose forth the self? And it's sort of that discontentedness, right? That want to individuate, right? And that's how we can connect the sort of realization of zero, or the raw essentia of like the base of reality, right? With sort of a mirror, and with the sort of yin that everything utilizes and comes out of, right? And then yeah. So either way, we just see fire becoming that, and one becoming that first individuated principle, and why it takes on the yang role, versus zero more of a balance role, right? And an ability to play any card and be formless, verse 5, which I believe represents balance as well, but it plays a role of fixity and taking on forms and taking on roles and responsibilities in order to balance, not being more air and spiritualized and fluid, right? Yeah. So, yeah, that's a little bit about it. Yeah, if we talk about then what all this implies, fire and cardinality have so much in common. So one is very much in the lane of self, and in the realm of going through changes. Yeah, just having a lot of change in the life, possibly a lot of loss. But it deals with a lot of change, right, in the realm of personal and in the realm of self, like self evolution in a way. Like, since you have all this correspondence with cardinality, right? Like cardinality and fixity. Say if we have fixity in the cardinal realm, and then maybe we have water. Now we sort of have this like seeming illusion to cardinal fixed immutability, where it almost creates a sort of ease in that, not necessarily because they're playing on different levels, but just that there's not this fixity, right? Whenever we have this fixity in a certain energy, it almost creates issue there, right? And that's not bad. It just means we're utilizing that space, working out of and learning through that particular space. Like, it's a concentration. But in which case, we're going to get caught up right now in personal issues and things like that. And in our own direction, right? Where we want to go. Our personal direction is going to be brought up. Like, our personal reason's going to be like an issue, right? So, yeah. If we break up one by one, and this relates heavily to Aries. All all Aries, right? Yeah. And so the interesting thing about one is it comes from naught. All other elements kind of come from certain patterns of other constituents when we're thinking about um, adding, right? We see like air always uses fire and water, earth always uses two earth, two water, right? Like they all have particular patterns, like earth and water will always look like this, besides like the two, which I'll show you because the two is only made out of the fire, right? But then when we get to the six, now it's made up of also, at six and beyond, it's also made up of earth and water as well. So it's a difference of the beginning elements and then the ones that come. But going back to it, so one is made up of this like wild card ability, versus any other fire sort of has this ability of bringing down vision and yeah, making your expressions relatable, and it sort of has issue uh, really grounding itself, right? um, and that makes sense. So verse one, it's almost has a wild card. It's almost willing to take any role, and that's how one becomes the sort of unification, right? On how whatever it does become, the essentia can shine through. And so either way, I do think one takes on then like zero, like nine, um, like this sort of wild card nature. Um, yeah, just because one is the vehicle for symbolizing, right? When something is one, it becomes a solid symbol and piece. Thus, like one is the sort of energy of concretization and shining something forth. Um, yeah, so it's really interesting, but yeah, the one of the interesting things, yeah, that wild card nature. So now one can only be seen one times one, and so this is a square in itself too, nonetheless. So this is a sharpness and a connection again to self and a power over our mind, right? An ability to utilize thus. And then one expresses itself through one in the first, which I could go over, but I would be repeating what I've already said. So, hey, yeah, my one people, like, keep it lively. Yeah, learn about your life journey. I'm excited. Tell me about it. Hit me up. Hey, bubbling, Citra, beach, out.